You see a 74-year-old Tibetan monk in a remote monastery at 3,600 millimeter altitude. He bends forward and touches the floor with his palms. Flat. No grunt, no wince, no stiffness. 0 chiropractor visits in his entire life. Meanwhile, 65 million Americans wake up every morning unable to stand up straight. They spend $134.5 billion a year trying to fix their backs, and the pain keeps coming back. How? Here's what most people believe. Back pain after 50 is just aging. You need a professional to manage it. You need adjustments, pills, braces, maybe injections eventually. That's completely backwards. Your back doesn't hurt because you're old. It hurts because you've been slowly destroying a muscle your doctor has probably never mentioned. A muscle that monks have been taking care of for 200 years. That muscle is the psoas. The psoas major is the only muscle in your body that connects your lumbar spine directly to your leg. Every step you take runs through it. Every time you stand up from a chair, it fires. And when it shortens, which happens every hour you spend sitting, it pulls your lumbar vertebrae forward. It compresses your discs. It irritates your nerve roots, and it produces the exact chronic back pain that 65 million Americans are trying to treat without ever touching the actual cause. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what they do instead. First, we'll go deep on the mechanism, what's actually happening inside your spine. Then we'll expose why chiropractors and pain pills keep you coming back, but never fix the root. And then I'll give you the complete 3-tier protocol derived from a 1,200-year-old Tibetan practice that you can start tonight. Stand up right now. I need you to do something before we go any further. Take a big step forward into a lunge. Drop your back knee toward the floor as low as you can. Keep your torso upright. Now, do you feel a pulling sensation in the front of the hip on your back leg? That tightness, that deep pull in the groin or the front of the hip. That's your psoas. If you felt it before your back knee reached the floor, your psoas is already shortened. That muscle is already pulling on your spine. Every hour you sit, every morning when you get out of bed, every time you try to bend over, pause, and really feel where that tightness is, because that's exactly where we're going to work. Now let me show you where this practice comes from and why it works. In the 8th century, in a monastery called Sami, the first monastery ever built in Tibet, a system of movement called Trul Kor was codified. The name means magical wheel. It's not magic in the mystical sense, it's mechanical. A precise sequence of spinal rotations, hip openers, and coordinated breathing practiced every morning before the first meditation session of the day. Monks practiced it at 3 a.m. on stone floors, in the cold, without shoes. They had no choice but to stay mobile. Sitting in stillness for 6, 8, 10 hours a day of meditation requires a spine and a psoas that can handle it. The Trul Kor wasn't spiritual decoration, it was maintenance. Fabio Andrico, a Western instructor trained directly in this lineage for decades, has documented monks in their 70s with spinal mobility comparable to Western men in their 40s. Dr. Alejandro Chaul at Rice University has spent his career studying these practices and has integrated them into pain management protocols in Houston. This isn't folk medicine. This is a system refined over 100 years of daily use. So what makes it different? The monks lived on the floor, eating on the floor, working on the floor, meditating on the floor. When you spend time cross-legged or squatting, your psoas stays at its natural length. The hip flexors stay open. The deep spinal stabilizers stay engaged. The discs stay decompressed. A 2024 study published in PubMed analyzed 40 volunteers across different floor-sitting positions and found that sitting on the ground activates significantly more trunk-stabilizing muscles than sitting in a chair and maintains greater rotational spinal stability. The muscles that protect your spine simply don't turn off. In a chair, they do. After 20 minutes, your lumbar support muscles disengage. After an hour, your psoas has shortened measurably. After 8 hours, it's locked in that shortened position, and your spine is paying the price. Sit on the floor right now, cross-legged if you can. If your knees don't reach the ground, if they're floating in the air, that gap is your hip tightness. That's the range of motion monks maintain their entire lives. And most Western men over 50 have lost it completely. Stay there for 60 seconds. How does your lower back feel? For most men, it actually decompresses slightly. The pelvis tilts into a more neutral position. The psoas isn't fighting a chair. That sensation, that's the difference. Now here's the system. Tier 1 is 8 minutes. You do it on the floor next to your bed every morning. Step 1, ground connection. Sit on the floor, legs crossed or extended in a V if crossing is too much right now. Hands on your knees. Take 5 slow nasal breaths, letting your belly expand outward on the inhale, not your chest. Your belly, you should feel your abdomen pushing forward. That's diaphragmatic breathing. It activates the transverse abdominis, the deepest layer of your core, one of the primary stabilizers of your lumbar spine. If you've been breathing into your chest, your core stabilizers are essentially turned off. This step turns them back on. Step 2, supine spinal twist. Lie on your back. Pull your right knee to your chest. Use your left hand to guide that knee across your body to the left. Right arm extends out to the side. Hold for 60 seconds. Breathe slowly, then switch sides. Within the first 20 seconds, you should feel a release, a warmth, or an unlocking in your lower back. That's intervertebral pressure releasing. That's exactly what a chiropractor is trying to achieve mechanically. You're doing it with gravity and time. Step 3, hip flexor lunge. Kneel on one knee, left knee on the floor, right foot forward. Push your hips gently forward until you feel the pull in the front of the left hip. Hold for 90 seconds. Breathe through it. The pull you feel is the psoas lengthening. Don't push into sharp pain. The right sensation is intense, but not sharp. Hold it. Let it release. Switch sides. Step 4, cat-cow. On all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale as you drop your belly and lift your head. Arch your back. Exhale as you round your spine upward and drop your head. 8 slow repetitions. Fluid movement through the entire lumbar and thoracic spine. 8 minutes. That's Tier 1. Start tonight. After 7 days, you should notice reduced morning stiffness. The seizing up when you go from sitting to standing should start to ease. After 30 days, most men report a 2 to 3 point drop in their baseline pain level. Score your back pain right now, 1 to 10. Write it down. Come back in 30 days and score it again. If it hasn't dropped by at least 2 points, write that in the comments. I want to know. Tier 2 starts at week 5. 2 movements added to what you're already doing. The standing psoas release. Find a step or low surface about 30 cm high. Place 1 foot on it. With that foot elevated, push the hip on the same side gently forward. You'll feel the psoas stretching from a standing position. Hold 60 seconds per side. This is what monks do during transitions. Short moments of deliberate lengthening between sessions throughout the day. The modified squat hold. Stand with your heels slightly elevated. A thick book works. Lower into a deep squat, as deep as you can, while keeping heels on the surface. Hold on to a door frame if needed. Start with 30 seconds and build toward 2 minutes. Every culture that doesn't use chairs maintains the deep squat as a resting position well into old age. Western adults lose it by their 30s. The psoas, the hip capsule, the ankles, all progressively restricted. The squat reverses that over time. At 30 days of Tier 2, you should see improved hip mobility and less pain during walking. The morning grinding continues to diminish. Tier 3 is the complete system, the full Trul core preparatory sequence. 8 movements Tibetan monks have practiced as the foundation of their morning ritual since the 8th century. About 20 minutes. The 4 movements from Tier 1, then the seated twist, cross-legged, rotating your torso fully right and left. 2 minutes. Then supine knee to chest, both knees pulled in simultaneously for 1 minute. Then 10 slow glute bridges. On your back, feet flat, hips driven up and held briefly at the top. Then child's pose to close, knees wide, hips back toward heels, arms extended forward. 2 minutes of slow breathing. That's the system. The psoas gets lengthened daily, the deep spinal stabilizers get activated, the intervertebral pressure gets released. Men who commit to 90 days report a level of function they haven't felt in years, sometimes decades. If you hit problems, here's how to read them. Pain increases in the first 3 to 5 days. Normal. Drop the stretch intensity to 70%. Add heat before practice. Adaptation, not damage. Can't sit on the floor? Start at the edge of a chair with no back support. The floor comes later. No results after 2 weeks. Check your frequency, 5 or more days per week minimum. Also, add a 1-minute standing break every hour at work. The protocol cannot undo 8 consecutive hours of sitting if you continue doing 8 consecutive hours of sitting. Disc herniation or sciatica? Skip the forward fold and deep squat. Do only the supine twist very gently and the hip flexor lunge. Talk to your doctor first. Here's what the monks understood that we've lost. They didn't do trual core for their backs. They did it so they could meditate. A body in pain cannot be still. A psoas locked in spasm sends continuous distress signals through the nervous system. The mind cannot quiet what the body is screaming. The spine without pain is the precondition for a mind without noise. When Tibetan teachers say the body is the temple, they don't mean it metaphorically. They mean it mechanically. The structure has to be maintained, not occasionally, not when it breaks down, daily before everything else, before the work, before the world asks anything of you. That's why this practice survived 200 years, not because it was sacred, because it worked every morning for every monk who committed to it. The United States spends $134 billion every year on spine pain, the most expensive single condition in American healthcare. Tibetan monasteries have been solving it every morning for 12 centuries, for free, with no equipment, on stone floors. The difference is not genetics, it's not altitude, it's not some mystical edge, it's the psoas, kept long, kept active every day. Here's what you do now. Tonight, before bed, do steps 2 and 3 from Tier 1, the supine spinal twist and the hip flexor lunge, 10 minutes on the floor. Tomorrow morning, do the complete Tier 1 sequence, 8 minutes next to your bed. This week, do it 5 times. Score your pain before and after each session. By day 7, you will feel a difference. This month, add Tier 2 at week 5. Score again at day 30 and compare. The one thing that ruins this, inconsistency. 4 days on, a week off, start again. The psoas took years to shorten. It needs daily attention to lengthen, 5 days a week minimum. Treat it like brushing your teeth, not optional. What's your biggest obstacle to starting tonight? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone. If someone in your life has tried everything for their back, the chiropractor, the pills, the braces, send them this. Not because it's a miracle, because it addresses what everything else misses. That 74-year-old monk touching the floor with his palms, you now know exactly why he can do it, and you know exactly what to do starting tonight to get there. Start tonight. If this ancient wisdom changes how you view the potential of your own body, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the history they tried to bury. Let's build a stronger future together. The next treasure of knowledge will be revealed soon.